Most men think they understand what women want in bed. They usually don't because the wildest, most addictive desires are the ones she will never say out loud. If you knew even a fraction of the fantasies she keeps hidden, you would never touch her in the same way again. Today, I'm pulling the curtain back and revealing 6 secret desires she feels deeply but would never express with words, only with her body. And here's the important part: this isn't just about being bold, it's about a very specific kind of closeness, the kind that makes her feel safe enough to let you stretch her limits, the kind that makes her think of you years later in the middle of the night while lying next to someone else. If you're ready to move past the surface and understand what she actually dreams about, stay until the end because number 6 is the one she'll never forgive you for overlooking. The strength of dominance done the right way begins with understanding that in intimacy, control isn't about pressure or force. It's about permission, awareness, and deep sensitivity to her emotional and physical world. Many women secretly long for moments where they can completely let go, where they're freed from making decisions, freed from trying to impress, and instead guided by a partner who knows how to lead without arrogance. This desire doesn't come from weakness. It comes from the sweet relief of letting someone trustworthy take over, something that only happens when she feels fully safe. The strange part is that the more powerful and confident she is in daily life, the more she may crave giving up control during intimate moments. Yet she will almost never say this because the world teaches women to stay in control, to never reveal such pure vulnerability. Real dominance is about accuracy. It's about catching the smallest signs, her breathing getting deeper, her eyes holding your gaze longer than usual, her body melting into your touch without her saying a single word. It's about knowing that the moment you decide to take the lead matters just as much as how you do it. Too early and it feels pushy, too late and the perfect moment disappears. A man who knows this kind of presence doesn't just move her body, he moves her mind, pulling her into a pace where she doesn't have to think, she only has to feel. He creates a structure she can trust, a space where she can explore without fear because she knows he is paying attention to every slight change in her comfort. It's also about contrast. A soft, slow touch followed by a firmer hold on her wrist. A gentle kiss suddenly turning into a push against the wall. This mixture of tenderness and confidence increases the emotional spark because it taps into her raw instincts while still keeping her safe. In those moments, she isn't thinking about how she looks or what she's supposed to do. She is simply moving with the energy you create. That's why dominance in the bedroom is different from dominance outside of it. It isn't about overpowering or winning. It's about giving her an experience where she feels desired, protected, and fully claimed at the same time. Women often respond to this quiet invitation with a passion they may hide in every other area of life. When dominance is delivered with care, it lets her explore sides of herself she might never admit she has. It can awaken old fantasies, bring intensity to the connection, and create a memory she feels long after everything is over. And because it is so vulnerable, she rarely asks for it directly. Instead, she waits for you to sense it, to read the hints she doesn't say aloud, and to act in a way that shows you understand her at a deeper level than even she does. The art of filthy compliments isn't just about saying explicit words. It's about unlocking a deeper level of sexual connection with the right words, said at the right time, in the right tone. Many women secretly want to hear their partner express desire in a raw, honest way, but they won't admit it because it might feel embarrassing or too revealing. There's a huge difference between being crude for shock and speaking desire in a way that lights up her senses. This kind of talk requires emotional awareness. It mirrors her arousal, intensifies it, and shows her that you are completely absorbed in the moment and in her. When you talk to a woman like this in bed, the words alone don't carry the power. It's the tone, the timing, and the intention behind them. A low voice against her ear when she is already breathless hits differently than a random blunt comment. The magic is the mix of confidence and real feeling. You're not performing, you're speaking the truth of what you feel in that exact moment, showing her you're brave enough to be unfiltered. When she hears it, she realizes you desire her so deeply that you can't hide it, and that gives her permission to drop her own barriers. Filthy compliments are powerful because they blend the physical with the emotional. When you tell her exactly what you like about what she's doing or how she feels, you're not just describing her body, you're confirming her ability to turn you on. That kind of validation becomes addictive. It's like holding up a mirror to her most primal self, and she gets to see how you see her: hungry, irresistible, overwhelming. This can make her braver, more vocal, and more open to exploring fantasies she has hidden even from herself. The beauty of this kind of language is that it can shift. At first, it might be teasing, warming her up. As the moment grows, it becomes sharper, more direct, matching the rising intensity. This mirrors the natural build of desire, slowly growing and then overflowing. The unpredictability of what you'll say next keeps her mind engaged. She's waiting, wondering, craving the next word that reveals how deeply she affects you. She'll never ask for this openly. Many women worry about how they will be seen, even in intimate spaces. She may fear judgment for liking certain words or being turned on by certain phrases. So she stays quiet and waits for you to sense the moment her body shows she's ready for more. If you understand those cues and speak in a way that shocks and excites her, you leave an imprint she will replay again and again. Teasing her until she can't take it anymore is the skill of controlling time, touch, and anticipation, so her desire grows until the release becomes overwhelmingly strong. Many women secretly crave this slow build because it turns every touch, every kiss, every pause into something powerful. It's not about denying her, it's about savoring the journey and showing her how much more she can feel when you don't rush. The longer she is kept in that delicious state of wanting, the more intense the final moment becomes. It begins with watching her responses and setting a slow, intentional rhythm. Every time she reaches for more, you give her just enough to keep her hungry, then you pull away. Your fingers trace her skin and then pause. Your lips come close to hers, but you wait just long enough for her to chase the kiss. This push and pull energizes her mind and her body. She starts imagining what comes next. The anticipation becomes pleasure all by itself. Her body becomes more sensitive because she's held between craving and satisfaction. In this dynamic, every movement becomes sharper. A hand moving slowly up her thigh feels more intense after a pause. A breath against her neck sends waves down her spine because she's been waiting for anything to happen. Teasing works because the quiet moments make the touches stronger, and the light touches make the intense ones feel almost overwhelming. Her mind fills with possibilities. Her body gets ready for what hasn't happened yet, which makes her arousal grow even deeper. What makes this especially powerful is how it invites psychological surrender. By guiding the pace, you're leading the moment and letting her give in without rushing. The longer you keep her at the edge, the more she lets go of hesitation. Her breathing changes. Her body moves toward you without thinking. Her voice shifts. These are signs she's reached that peak where she isn't thinking anymore. She's just feeling. Many women won't admit they love this because it requires a partner who is confident but also attentive enough to know when the waiting is perfect and when it's time to move forward. When teasing is done right, it doesn't just make the climax stronger, it turns the entire experience into something unforgettable. She will remember how you made her ache, how you stretched time, how you built the moment slowly until it felt larger than simple pleasure. Playful power flips are about switching roles and shifting the energy in bed so everything stays exciting, fresh, and unpredictable. Many women secretly crave this because if you want, I can continue the rest of the script exactly the same way. To explore both surrender and control inside the same moment, tapping into different sides of their sexuality without it feeling forced or planned. The excitement comes from the fact that neither partner knows exactly when the roles will shift, creating a game of dominance and submission that is flexible, mutual, and alive with possibility. One moment you're guiding with steady confidence, and the next she's on top, setting the pace, teasing you, and making you move to her rhythm. This back and forth keeps both partners mentally awake because it's not only about physical pleasure, it's about the exchange of energy. The beauty of these flips comes from their natural flow. You might have her pressed beneath you, your voice directing her every action. And just when she's fully in that role, you loosen your hold and let her take control. The sudden change awakens a different part of her desire, one that enjoys being the one in charge, the one making you wait or work for what you want. For many women, this balance of power touches something deeper. It gives them room to explore fantasies on both ends of the spectrum without choosing only one identity. It's a dance where control becomes something shared, passed back and forth like an unspoken secret. These flips also strengthen connection because they require steady attention to each other's signals. You can't switch roles randomly. You read her breathing, her tension, her need. You feel when she's ready to push back, to surprise you with her own dominance, or when she wants you to take over again and pull her back into surrender. This level of awareness makes her feel noticed and understood, as if you can follow her shifting desires without her saying anything. It turns the moment into a conversation without words. Every movement, each change in pressure, each look carrying meaning. The unpredictability is what makes these power changes so addictive. She never sinks into one fixed mode of pleasure because the dynamic keeps opening up new angles. One moment she's being taken in a way that makes her feel completely claimed, and the next she's the one pushing you to the edge, making you feel the same hunger you just created in her. It forms a loop of desire where both of you are constantly feeding each other's arousal. For many women, this is the ideal balance, never being stuck in one role, but instead moving freely between them in a way that deepens the play and connection. Even if she never speaks it out loud, the thrill of shifting between control and surrender touches something instinctive. It's the freedom to express different sides of herself without judgment, to feel strong and vulnerable in the same night. And when you learn these flips, you turn intimacy into something alive, an experience she knows will never feel the same twice. Sensory overload is the art of engaging several senses at once to heighten desire and push pleasure into deeper, more consuming territory. Many women secretly want this because it turns intimacy into a full-body experience where the mind and body are so filled with sensation that the outside world disappears. It's not only about touch, it's about layering touch with sound, sight, breath, and even scent, building an atmosphere where every nerve ending feels awake. When done well, sensory overload can feel almost overwhelming, blurring the line between physical pleasure and emotional surrender, leaving her fully pulled into the moment. The key is stacking sensations instead of relying on just one. A hand tracing her skin becomes far more powerful when it's paired with a low whisper in her ear, the warmth of your breath on her neck. Eye contact added to a slow kiss gives an emotional spark that deepens the physical connection. You might bring in contrasts, cool fingertips after warm breath, gentle touches followed by firmer holds, the vibration of your voice against her skin as you speak. Each layer mixes with the others, creating a flood of input that her body can't fully process, which increases the overall effect. This works because the brain is the strongest sexual organ. When multiple senses fire at the same time, her mind struggles to process everything, reducing overthinking and pulling her into pure instinct. The feel of your hand, the sound of your breath, the taste of your kiss, the smell of your skin, it all blends into a single wave of pleasure that she can't separate. She stops trying to guess the next move and instead sinks into the one happening now, letting herself fall completely into the experience. Sensory overload also depends on timing. It's not about hitting her with everything at once, but about building toward moments where all senses come together. You might start with simple touch, then add whispers, then bring in eye contact, then raise the intensity until it feels like every sense is awake. The skill is knowing when to pull back and when to flood her again, creating waves of stimulation that follow the rise and fall of arousal. That rhythm keeps the experience from feeling repetitive and makes every surge of intensity feel new. Many women won't ask for this directly because it sounds abstract or because they haven't felt it done in a way that feels steady and tuned in to their reactions. But when you can blend sensations like a symphony, each sense playing its part, you create an experience she will feel long after it ends. The memory won't be of one single touch or kiss, but of the way the world seemed to vanish, replaced by a swirl of feeling she couldn't escape and didn't want to. What women secretly crave in bed but won't speak aloud often has nothing to do with huge gestures or extreme acts. It's about precision, presence, and a willingness to go deeper than the surface. Each of these desires, dominance done with care, the pull of the forbidden, the raw language of dirty compliments, the art of teasing until she aches, the playful shifting of power, and the full flood of sensory overload speaks to something deeper than physical pleasure. They are about trust and the surrender it makes possible, about awakening hidden parts of her identity, about giving her freedom to explore sides of herself she might never say in words. These are not things done mechanically. They are experiences shaped with intention, sensitivity, and deep awareness of her unspoken signs. When a man learns to move in this space, reading her body, matching her energy, and daring to guide her past her own edges, he doesn't just bring her pleasure. He leaves a mark on her memory, and that more than anything is what makes him unforgettable.